Hi guys, welcome back to HADAL TV. Today we have a special guest. Those who know. Those who doesn't know.
That's it, Nuradin. We're here, people. We're here. Big up to everybody. Please smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Help the brothers out here, man. Come on, people. These brothers are the only ones who are from the community having real conversations. So get with it, people.
Just by the sound of that, my name's Ahmed, obviously. You can tell he's definitely trained with the mic, the like and subscribe and everything.
Yo, they've got to.
It takes us a while to figure that one out.
Yeah, it took us a minute just to get a little script going. Nuradin came on, it just phew. It all
You know what? Yeah, we get into a full discussion and then we go, did we say like and subscribe yet?
Nah, you know what? Sometimes it's the conversations. Innit?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
should be doing that. People should be doing that already. But yeah, it is what it is, man. You got to just talk, say how it is. Say how it is, man. Keep
Definitely,
it
man.
100%.
Definitely. Nuradin, for those who don't know who you are, just give us a bit of background.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
name, where you're from, what
Yeah,
you do.
yeah. So I was born in Hargeisa, in Somalia, and I came here when I was 9 years old, maybe just over 9 years old. I grew up in Mossad. I was one of the first, I think, maybe 3 or 4 families that first arrived in Mossad back
Wow.
in the day, and yeah. So man like me and other people, a couple of us, battling out, you know, letting the getting the battles because people didn't know where the hell we were from, what was going on, and sometimes even in school, man, people weren't proud of being African, but it was one of those, innit? You know what I mean? I'm not like what some of these Somalis who try to differentiate themselves, but a lot of it will come out. My
Yep.
politics is straight up. I don't believe in divided Somalia. I don't even believe in the colonial borderlines in Africa. They're 140 something years old. If you know, 1884, the Berlin Conference, when they divided Africa into
okay.
countries.
Small
and
pots,
now,
yeah.
divide and rule, and it works. We fight each other, they rob the resources.
It's still the main causes of problems on the earth.
Exactly, yeah. So I grew up in Mossad. You know, I live not that far now. I live in Hume, a bit that's close to Mossad. And yeah, I grew up around here. I'm into culture, arts, football. Football, actually, not gonna lie, football and music were the 2 things that really saved me from prison and saved my life
Do you know what? Yeah,
in some ways.
you said music. I remember Nuradin on the mic. He was a killer. I'm telling you.
Those were the good
Bro,
days.
you know, first time, I think it wasn't the first time, but I've seen Nuradin around because obviously I was a bit youngest as well. So like we used to see him in different places.
Yeah.
And one time there was an event and then this guy took the mic, bro. He's rocking it. I was like, yo. And that was the first time I seen a Somali guy who's MC, bro.
Yeah.
It could have been about part of the carnival. It might have been a carnival. It might
No,
have been
it-
Mossad carnival.
I can't remember exactly where it was, but you killed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, rah, like I've not seen a Somali guy MCing, bro.
At that time.
Bro, garage. He was
Okay.
going
Yo,
off.
back in those days, man. Big
Going
up.
off.
Yo, big up to everybody, man. And big up to the people in my side as well. So, yeah, settling in wasn't easy. Obviously, we were traumatized by civil war. You know what I mean? Families everywhere. That's part of our story, innit? The diaspora, the Somalis in the diaspora.
Yep.
You know, that's why I always say we're expats here, you know what I mean? We're not immigrants, you know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. We're expats. That's what we are.
I like that word.
Yeah, so we're the expats, East African expats, man. That's what I am. I carry multiple, obviously, different
wear different
identities.
hats,
Yeah, in terms of what do I see myself? I see myself from being South Central Manchester. So I'm South Central Mani person, but I'm specifically a Mossad person. You know, I'm a majority of my life is shaped by things that happened, the beautiful community which I grew up in. So I came to Mossad 8 years after the uprisings. So the community were in that kind of mode where the level of the systemic racism and structural racism and also like the blatant racism, you know, the overtness was still raw.
Yeah.
And obviously Thatcher was in, she proudly professed that there was no such a thing as community, and I think the community in Mossad or communities, black and brown communities all over the country were trying to prove it, and white working class people as well.
Yeah,
white, black, you know, brown working class people were all coming together, and so I came to that, and people were welcoming on the whole. You know, when you went into school, obviously young people are young people, kids
Yeah.
are kids. You were getting tested and tried, and they found us that, you know what I mean, we are hardened by war.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
That
people
were
didn't know
hardened,
that, did
man,
they?
and people that are so much prideful. So yeah.
Which school did you go to?
I went to primary school, Claremont,
Hey.
and then I went to Juicy.
Oh, you went to Juicy High School?
Yeah, and then I went to my school's not even there anymore. They
Yo,
built
listen,
apartments
those who
there.
don't know Juicy,
I was gonna say,
that
yeah.
was academy.
Yeah,
Manchester Academy now.
It's Manchester Academy now, but it used to be on the other side of the park. You know,
Opposite Webster.
Yeah, opposite Webster on the corner of Denmark Road and Lloyd Street. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I've been. So I've grew up around, and then I went to university in Liverpool. So that was.
Yo, you went to all the cities, haven't you?
Yeah. So and then for a while,
especially
for a short time, I lived in Liverpool as well. I lived in London. I tried it because I was into rave, I was into jungle and garage music.
Yeah.
17, I went there promoting nights. And then London was just too hardcore. Sitting at Never Sleeps.
Liverpool was hardcore them days.
Yeah, Liverpool in some sense, because we used to go sometimes to the soul nights in Liverpool. But London, couple of months, I missed football, I missed my friends, I came back, I missed the community.
Yeah.
But London was a bit like heartless. I remember coming out of the Hackney station, one of the tube stations, and a kid got stabbed, and it was me and an old lady and I remember running to the phone box. Yes, people, they used to have phone boxes, no mobile
20p.
phones. And I remember calling 999 to get him an ambulance, and like 500-600 people walked past.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that had an effect on me because, you know, in Manchester something happens.
Bro, Manchester,
Everybody used to come because everybody comes, but London is what was London is.
That happened to me when I was a kid as well.
Yeah, so growing up around here, I'm proud. Like I said, I'm a Moss Side kid.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, I'm a Moss Side kid. Before that, I was a Hargeisa kid before the war. But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
We met through like creative arts and, you know, contacts, home, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Yeah, you know what? I've always been. I've got ADHD and I'm dyslexic. So one of the things is that I'm very visual. So I learn a lot. I absorb a lot by visual. So, like learning through. So I got into cinema. I'm massively into cinema.
Yeah.
And I remember 18, 19, I went to the Corner House, which was like a cultural arts centre. It's part of the university now, but it's opposite the Palace Hotel.
Yeah.
Right next to the train station, Oxford Road. Because all my friends would go watch all of these films in Odeon. Odeon used to be just past where the McDonald's was on Oxford Road. On your right now, it's all restaurants or all buildings now. There's some
before
hotel.
the library.
Yeah, just before the library. And I used to hate going to like watch a lot of films that were just about USA, you know, that Rambo, CIA kind of like CIA
propaganda
kind
movies.
of like Pentagon propaganda movies. I was just like, I'm done with this because obviously we survived war, so we know. I was one of those people. I was always curious because I was like, why am I doing here? First of all, came here, I was like. Second week, I think I was like, I need to go back. Even though we came in the summer, as soon as it's September, October, I was like, what am I doing here? No, we always had family here. You know what?
Yeah.
My great uncles were here, bless them, and that's the reason why we got out. But it was crazy in the sense that, like, we came here and I was like, you know, the food is crap. The weather is crap. I came in the summer as well, and it was like World Cup 1990. So yeah, watching, like, seeing everything. I remember supporting Cameroon, the greatest African football team in the history of African teams, by the way. That Cameroon team was unbelievable. But yeah, so I remember coming in there and not settling in, missing home. Obviously, my mother, I came here without my mother, so that was difficult. A lot of it was difficult because all our families all over the world, and you know, a lot of our story innit, as expats, people who flee in war. But yeah, settled in. Yeah, football mad. Yeah. That's one thing. If you know people who know me around here, football. Like,
did that start instantly or?
No. I just because when I look back on it, it was the therapy to get over the trauma of war.
Yeah,
it became the natural therapy. Plus, I got ADHD, and I'm just running everywhere. Like most people at that time and that generation, they would always be like, where do you get the energy? Like, I would go an hour and a half before school starts to play football. Yeah. On the way back, always have a ball, find somewhere to go and play football with friends. Before it got dark in the winter, find floodlights to go and play football till 10 o'clock. Sometimes.
We used to jump in the pits.
Yeah, that's what I said. So we used to bribe the guy at Pits. People who don't know Pits, alongside
Power League now, isn't it?
Power League, yeah. There's a place there. We used to get the security some beers. We used to save money to get him beers so that you can turn the lights on a bit more till about 12 o'clock at night. That's the type of thing we do. But yeah, that's the intro. So yeah, Manchester, mad about film, mad about music, mad about football.
Beautiful.
And at that time, Moss Side was crazy because of all the destitution, structural, systematic racism, and what happens when you put people in an area and keep them there. People are going to fight each other. You know, that's the most natural when you oppress people. Yeah. there's gonna be anger, there's gonna be underground market. People have to make a living, people have to eat, and then the madness started. So yeah, football was the thing that. So I came from a war zone to almost sometimes a kind of like purposely built war zone. Like I don't blame the people, because when you put those type of conditions on the people, and people are not getting jobs or opportunities, and then then you flood in the neighborhood with guns and drugs. Like black people like make guns, you know what I mean? Like, or black people make drugs.
They don't.
Like you know what? So you flooded the environment. This is systematic thing that's happening.
Yeah.
So
They always
then-
say that area is bad, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like for me, Mossad is one of the most beautiful places.
It's so beautiful,
It
man.
shaped me, my political views, who I am as a human being. Yeah.
Definitely,
So now I worked in the arts for about 17 years
Beautiful.
because of the films and the culture and the theatre and music and stuff. Yeah. Did a bit of MCing back in the day. Still
nah,
into
you know
music.
what? That's what I remember you for. Like seriously, like before anything, before even the football, it was about the music. It's cold, man.
In terms of uni, what is it that you studied?
I did sport, I did sport and education. I did sport and health.
Yeah.
And then they got me dissecting a kind of a frog. Blood went everywhere, and I was like, I'm not good with blood. So I was like, no, I need to change. So I really wanted to be like a PE teacher because I really got on with my PE teachers because, like I said, I was dyslexic.
Yeah.
So sport was the thing that mainly. But then I remember going to like workspace, going to see teachers, what they were doing and what and they were like, you know what, if you can find something else, don't do it, because the amount of paperwork they had to fill in. The amount of things
just
you
take
have
it
to
home
do.
with you.
Yeah. And literally, I mean, I remember went to school and two teachers, they were husband and wife, and they were like, we pick our kids up, we finish school, pick our kids up, we sit opposite each other, we make dinner, and then we're working away till about 10:30. So it's like, what kind of life is that?
What kind of life is that, man?
Yeah,
That's
what
crazy.
kind of life is that? So yeah. And then I did sport development for the city council, but that was always subject to funding.
Yeah, of course.
Worked in a couple of youth spaces, actually Hume Youth Centre, alongside, did Hill Place. Shout out Signori.
Shout out
doing
Signori
it.
indeed, man.
Big up the Khalils as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just before we go into one of the main topics that we want to cover, which is kind of like give a little review on the surviving Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Just to touch on, obviously, you've been in Mossad for a very long time. What do you see is the difference back then to now? Like, if you were to highlight a few key points.
Well, free everybody. They're locked up in it. They locked up all the people in it. Britain locks up more Muslim and black men, young men, than the US does in proportion to the population.
Wow.
Chase.
Yeah. So just think about that. The biggest prison population in the world is the US, right?
Yeah.
Over 2 million people in prison. Britain locks up more Muslim and black boys in proportion to the population than the US.
That's wild.
That is so. A lot of the people locked up, obviously, it's changed. It's fundamentally changed. So pick up all the Caribbean community, by the way, because the Caribbean community, they were surviving the madness of white supremacy and racism and systemic and structural racism. And without them guiding us, you know what I mean? I don't know where we would be now, but we had to learn a lot from them. They held us, you know what I mean? Shout out places like HQ, big up the Rastas. They always loved the fact that people were from East Africa. Yeah. They would always show us love. So, yeah. But, yeah, this is what Mossad was. But so it's changed, fundamentally changed now. I mean, Claremont Road, Prince Parkway now is full of East Africa. Yeah. A lot of the Caribbean community have moved out to different parts of the city, different parts of Manchester.
Like
Yeah. Droylsden, Openshaw. So many people are so many different places. I think for a peace and quiet, because the police will target people. Yeah. And literally it became unsafe to live because of the amount of targeting by police. Yeah. So it is fundamentally changed. But to be fair, if you know the history of Mossad, I mean, Mossad was shown Hume, follow it. It's like these areas, like back in the day, it was one area. Yeah. There's always the newcomers. Yeah. So even at time, 100-something years ago, it was like the Belgians were here working. You know what I mean? The Irish. I remember when Mossad, there was a massive Irish community.
Alongside as well.
And like Romani traveller community as well. So yeah, there's always been a different influxes of things. I think Rusholme is still partly the same sometimes. It stayed a little bit the same, Rusholme, but Mossad, there's an influx because the newcomers, whoever the newcomers are.
It's like more like a lot of student areas now as well.
And that's it. It's become a massive student place.
Yeah.
But gentrification is taking place.
100%.
Massively.
They did that with the bus stop hole where the new bus stop is. Have you seen the whole area now?
It's well arranged. That's what they're saying. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it though?
crazy,
I used to live on that Hatton Street, you know, like round the corner from bus stop hole.
Yeah.
That was like the first place I moved into.
crazy.
And that whole area now is gone. It's all new properties, and then it's It's M15 now. That area. How is that even possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the plan is a plan, innit? So the plan is to move black and brown people or working class black and brown people out and bring in professional, super middle class
because it's
people
closer
who
to
can
town,
afford
innit?
it. Yeah, who can afford. Back in the day, it was all of the middle class people would run for the hills, outskirts of the city. But now it changed. It changed. But it's also the same in the US. Now all of the rich people want to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
York,
Like the idea at Alexandra Park, you couldn't go into that park. I remember last summer, or a couple of summers ago, I was cycling and I saw this like super middle class like white woman there with 2 babies like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, yo,
what is happening?
Not seen...
what is going on?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go there at
you
10 o'clock
know
at that
it's
time.
changing.
Yeah.
And back in the day, seriously, you didn't go
10
to
o'clock,
that
forget that.
Yeah.
You would go in
Forget
Alexandra.
10, bro. You just wouldn't go there in a late evening or anything like that. So before we kind of like touch on to the show that was on Netflix, what did you think of it originally before you watched it, or the trailer? Did you catch the trailer or anything like that?
Yeah, you know what? I remember I followed the brother on Twitter, one of the producers, one of our own people.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing something about Black Hawk, and I'm like, I hope somebody tells the truth, really, what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember being young. I was like 93, 94, I think it was. And I remember seeing that, you know what? Yo, they're killing our people, man.
Yeah.
They're killing our people. So I remember seeing that on the news. And then I remember the Ridley Scott film coming out. You know, Black Hawk Down, the original film. And you know what I mean? Like, that was, I think, internationally, in terms of a film, that was the first culturally thing that people see who are what Somalis are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was international. Do you know what I mean?
I think our family, we all went to the cinemas or something. It was just wild.
Yeah. So that was the thing. I remember that because I remember I'm knowing the true story.
Yeah.
We all knew. All
knew,
of us knew what the true story was.
Yeah.
But I remember looking at the same thing with Captain Phillips BS. You know what I mean? We are the captains. We've always been the captains, people. Yeah. It's not just that I'm the captain now. Yo, we were always the captains. But,
I'm the captain now.
We were always the captains, forever the captains. But even that is the biggest BS. And apparently there's documentaries in the making to tell the truth, real truth. There was a documentary actually, Italian, about the Italian people who were killed. But we'll go into that later. After, but just to focus, that's what I said. You have to keep me in narrow because my brain goes everywhere, right? So you have to keep me in narrow. So in terms of that documentary, I knew there was something in the works, but I was like, yo, this is Netflix. This is US. This is CIA.
Yeah.
When I saw Netflix, I was already like, I'm not gonna watch this.
Because he actually forced me to watch it.
Yeah.
When he said, "Oh, have you watched it yet?" First he said, "Yeah, let's watch it together. Let's watch it the next few days, and then we'll do a reaction to it." And then he watched it before me, and he was like, "Oh, have you watched it yet? Because I want to do the reaction." And I was like, "I've not seen it." And he was like, "Have you not? It's only 3 episodes. Why do you not see it? Watch it." And I said, "You know what?
I wasn't encouraging you to watch it because I wanted you to see why this had a bit of a tweak to it.
And then I was like, "Do you want me to tell you what's gonna happen?"
He kind of gave me like the whole lowdown.
I give him a whole lot without even seeing it.
Yeah, because we know.
Because I can guess what the propaganda is gonna be.
Yes, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And then when I watched it, I was like, I told you. And I said, I told you that it was gonna be like this. But like, obviously, this time I think there's a little bit. Obviously, it's not the same as the movie.
No.
The movie was just a straight up propaganda.
Yeah. Forget the movie, bro. That was
the movie.
crazy.
The movie was terrible story.
That's CIA Pentagon.
Yeah.
That is CIA Pentagon. People don't understand that. In the US, majority of films are made about any part of the propaganda machine to tell or to demonize. You want to know who the US is wants to invade, who they demonizing? Just watch the latest
movies.
films.
Yeah.
Just watch the latest film that they Hollywood
Just
puts
see what's
out. Yeah.
All the movies about Iran now.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Did you did you have any doubts about watching it or not watching it this time?
Yeah, I did. But then I was like, you know what? I have to respect the brother that's involved.
Yeah.
I always forget his name, man. I forgot.
Is it
his
Jamal?
name.
Jamal,
Yeah.
Jamal
So
Osman.
he does some good work. He used to work at Channel 4.
Yeah.
And he did something for The Guardian as well, I'm sure. So I've seen him doing some good work, like,
Yes,
you know, try to get us not to be human, especially the war on terror stuff and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? If something he's co-signing, even though I know he's not the main editorial control, but let's have a look. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see, like exactly like you. But I'm gonna do I force because I'm always like, let me see what they're saying about us. Let me see how they're gonna weave this. So when it starts, I'm like, of course they're gonna put the American soldiers like first.
Music,
you know what I mean? That they're gonna put them on the tough guys, the Delta, and all this kind of Rangers.
Before you go into, have you seen all the soldiers? Like especially like there's two main guys.
Yeah,
they were the Delta Force. And then when I asked him, goes, what do you think about that? Well, basically, they've been to Iraq after that. They went to Bosnia after that. They went to and he goes, nothing. Yeah. Nothing like Mogadishu, that war. He goes, it was everything else. He goes, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Because he goes, till today, they still got like nightmares over it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that guy said that he still didn't forget about it. He didn't want it to leave.
Of course.
They can't.
Yeah.
Because like they still got anger about it. I mean, there was a podcast I watched not long ago, and there's one of the main guys, like he was in the documentary as well, the long hair.
Yeah, I'm not watching
I watched it. It was like a 2 hour long, and I watched all of it. And then he was talking the whole day. He was talking about saying that basically his family fall apart. He goes until today. He goes. I think he reached something like 4-star general or something like that. And he goes, I still did not basically deal with what happened in Mogadishu.
Yeah, because it's the PTSD. They like to know that they're machines or they're tough, but they're human beings.
Human beings, yeah.
So majority of like veterans, whether it's here and that, they're usually like working class people from that part of that whatever country, and then they get shown all this Rambo and the adverts that they showed in the documentary, and they think, I'm gonna be a hero in war. Nah, mate, you're just fighting. You're just a fodder for corporations and military industrial complex. That's what you are. But so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this because I know the truth. I know the true story, so I'm gonna watch it. So let me see how they're gonna spin this.
Yeah.
So it starts off by obviously they got the them talking about it and what they're saying, and they're building it up like this is what we did. So they're giving to the backgrounds of some of the people who survived it.
Yeah.
And then obviously they bring in Somali voices. So that was unique because usually we're not heard from. We're not human.
Oh, we don't exist.
Yeah, we're not human.
On platforms.
Things are done to us.
Yeah.
But we don't have any agency. We don't have anything we're human and we have our own, we have telling it from our point of view. But it's nothing new, but they pick the wrong ones, innit? When people say that you pick the wrong one, you pick the wrong people. Like, you pick the wrong ones because if they knew anything about history, and this is the thing, the arrogance of these white supremacists and these, like, US empire, they don't understand that our ancestors fought off in people who wanted to enslave us. People don't know that our history of dervish warriors, men, women, children, women with children on their back.
Yeah.
Bareback, horses fighting against the colonizers.
There's a statue in Hamar.
You know what?
Yeah. Islam. Basically, she's got a baby and then she was actually throwing stones. She was a warrior.
Whilst on a horse?
Yeah, she's in a statue. It's called Nagatur.
Yeah.
She's a statue, actually.
Yeah, so these, they don't know our history. They don't know that, like, while they colonized many other different kind of countries, it was hard to colonize us because they don't understand that about our pride, innit? They don't understand that, like, literally in our culture, pride is all what you got. Now, sometimes it can be too much.
Yeah.
It can be too far. Because you can get in a way and then it's horrible and actually consequences. People lose their lives. But we are that type of people. And one of the brothers says it's freedom or death, mate.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
he said that.
Gula or death, he said.
Yeah.
It's glory or death.
Glory or death. And that is what this is, especially from invaders. Because obviously we've got the longest coastline of anywhere in East Africa. And people have always come to trade. People have come, all the different civilizations have come. Our history is deep. You know what I mean? So we're not, but the idea that people come to try to colonize us.
Yeah.
Or people coming to kill our people. Are you mad? Like, the arrogance for me, that is the biggest thing. It's the arrogance.
They went to a city where everyone is armed.
Yeah.
Everyone.
People who were just hardened by war.
Yeah.
Everyone's armed.
So let's think now, 80, walking to 88,
80,
it's 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. So 6-year hardened people who have just known nothing but war.
Yeah. And all armed as well.
They think they can just come They can just come with their arrogance and think, yeah, we need to take out General ID. We need to take him out. We need to just go there and, bring the Hawks and Operation Delta and get in and get out. I'm like, you think that it's that simple? Get in and get out.
Yeah, but
They've said that so many times.
The soldier said that. He goes,
Yeah.
with Americans, we're just going to go and arrest this guy and get out.
Yeah,
You're just thinking,
they made the first mission
it's
sound
not-
so like just.
It is
Just
not that
a-
simple. When he said that, I started laughing. I was like, it is not that simple. You're trying to take a tribal leader out of Hammer, bro, with nothing, with no consequences, nothing. You're going to get in and get out. Like, it's never going to be possible.
But that's what I'm saying. But if they knew, that's what I'm saying. If they any of them ever like thought, okay, I'm gonna read a book, I'm gonna try to understand. There's a book called Warriors. Yeah, if you know. They're literally it's called Warriors, and it's Second World War veteran British guy.
Okay, what's his name? Do you know?
I forgot, but the book was called Warriors.
Warriors, yeah?
I'll take a screenshot and send it to you.
Yeah.
And basically, it's accounts in the 1940s, Second World War in East Africa, and he's going through different East African countries, and he comes to, I think he's somewhere in the middle of the country, and he's like, yeah, majority of some of the countries, because the way that they've been colonized, the way that they've been dehumanized, the people didn't know any better to resist because all of their resistance was crushed militarily. So he comes. And people are queuing out a well to get water.
Yeah.
So my guy thinks, yeah, I'm a white man here. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to the front. I'm English.
Yeah.
I'm a Her Majesty's, you know what I mean?
Soldier.
And they're like, no, get to the back of the queue.
Yeah.
And he's like, you what? Get where? And they're like, no, get back to the queue. And then he learns from that experience. He's like, yo.
It's different.
Yeah, I think
different here.
They wrote a few books. I think the British wrote a few books of Somalia anyway.
Yeah. But that's his account. So he talks about like the pride and how much about our pride is in. So that's what I'm saying. If the Americans read, you know what I mean? If they
Just
read,
read, yeah.
If they asked around, if they actually spoke to people, they would understand that, these things are not possible. You can't do this. You can't. There's no in and out. There is no taking
It's in
people
and not coming back out, mate.
there is. Well, that's what I'm saying to you. Those of you watched, we're not spoiling it.
Yeah.
But no spoilers. But
Yeah.
those of you watched it, pause it and watch it, and then come back to the
Just like what we said on the last episode as well about this, if there will be some spoilers in there, so just like what Nuradin said.
Just pause it and go and watch it, and then come back to it. But yeah, it was interesting.
What do you think of Ahmed 5? Legend.
Listen, but that's what I'm talking about. People they dehumanize and abuse the community, and that, the maddest thing is, I try to explain to people, because I've got a couple of my friends to watch it, and they're like, yo, it's mad. I'm like, listen, if I'm fighting with somebody who's from the same heritage as me, if you come and try to colonize, we stop fighting.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
And that's what happened.
Yeah,
we stop fighting. I think, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
What's going on here? Yeah. So at the end of the day, it is a tragic story because the Civil War happened because of the political and geopolitical nature, but also the outside influences that are always. So this is the thing about people don't know about African countries. None of the African countries are free, except for about 3 right now.
Yeah.
Burkina Faso,
Mali,
and Nigeria.
Niger.
They're the only 3. And what we have to try to explain to people is that the Western countries and the Arab countries, especially the Dubai lot now, going around like they're the US in the neighborhood now. They're the Israel in the neighborhood now.
The UAE.
UAE, that's it. Can't even get it. The city owners. That's all you need to know, the city owners, yeah? And they're always interfering in the dynamics of what's going on. So the biggest thing is that colonization ended. But did it really? It didn't. It's de facto by corporations, and look what they're doing in Congo. So any of these African leaders, if they don't agree with the Western corporation and Western geopolitics, you get taken out because you then get to be made like an enemy and you get taken out.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything for the people.
Yeah.
You can't really. You've got to just enrich you and your friends and family.
Yeah.
Have all the houses you want in Switzerland, in France, all over Europe and the Western countries. Be a billionaire. But if you really want to help your country,
Ain't happening.
you get taken out. You get accused of being the old one was like, you're a commie. You know what I mean? Patrice Lumumba is the classic example. 1960s. CIA, the French intelligence.
Mugabe.
Yeah. Mugabe, like Gaddafi, all of these type of people. Mandela, obviously at the end, Mandela, they took the best 30 years away from him. Then they got him when he's an old man.
Mandela
You know what I mean? And then what they did, they took the shackles off the feet and put it on his arms. So economically, he had to just be like, okay, we got freedom, we can vote now.
Bro,
but
can
people are still in poverty.
I can argue with anyone over Mandela, man. Mandela sell out, man.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
He basically you listen. If Mandela was a hardcore
gave
man,
30 years,
he
man.
will not be getting a statue in London, bro.
100%.
He kissed the ring.
100%.
you
No,
know
at the end, but it was the 90s, innit? At the end, to get the freedom, just to lift that apartheid system, you have to compromise.
to get along.
And that's what I'm saying to you. They took the shackles from his
And
feet.
they put it in his arms.
Put it on his arms.
Because
So-
his country's still suffering today.
Yeah. So that's the original what the war is in Somalia. Different people have different versions. But I always look at it, I don't look at it as the macro. I look at it from the top. I always look at the bigger picture.
biggest-
And the bigger picture is just how all over Africa, if you got Africa divided, if you got Africa fighting, if you got so many civil wars, you can then, the industrial military complex are never running out of money. And then you keep that turmoil, then they're never gonna think, oh, damn, we're getting robbed here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If there's no wars in Africa, let's just say that if there's no wars in Africa, people are like, we want a fair price. We want a fair price of our things. We want this price. But if the thing is constant chaos, and then you give them this development and this charity business underneath, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna help them, this savior stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, but like it's a French. The French minister said it on camera that if Africa start developing, if it start developing, it's not good for the West.
Yeah, of course.
Because what will happen is that if they start doing the oil refines, if they start basically doing their food, he goes basically they're not gonna need us. We're gonna end up buying stuff off them. So it goes basically we get all the goods, you put it in our factories and refine it, or the oil and all that stuff like that, and then we sell it back to them for more money. Because if they can do that for themselves, they don't need us.
But even food, majority of African countries
everything.
import food. I mean, how mad is that? We got some of the most fertile land in the world.
Yeah.
Bro, like I was talking to one guy, and he was saying basically he wanted to do farms in Johar, right, in Somalia.
Yeah.
But he's saying that the ministers that was there were getting kickbacks from bananas and stuff that coming from Kenya. So he basically shut him down. So he doesn't do the fruits in Somalia because he's getting a kickback from the other side.
Wasn't there this thing about, I don't know if this was in Somalia or whatnot, where if you're growing crop on certain land, you can only do it once.
Once, yeah.
And then after
After
that,
you have to do something else. You can't keep doing the same thing. That's the policy they got.
Yeah,
It's not normal, is it?
Yeah.
But I
So there's nothing wrong in terms of the plan that they've got for Africa. And the plan they have for Latin America, same in Asia. Everything is working. The plan they have for us here, everything's working. We think the system is wrong. No, the system is working as it was designed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Black Hawk Down, if they picked up a book, if they understand the history, then they would know that you ain't killing us and you ain't come to colonize us. You ain't here killing our people and think they get away with it. The thing about our people is that justice is part of our DNA.
yeah.
The injustice, we would rather die, and that is mad. I know that sounds mad, but we'd rather die than suffer injustice. And that's the maddest thing. When I think about our culture, what is unique, I think it's not unique just to us, but it's unique to different parts of the world. But in us, the pride comes in, and I think that pride of uniqueness was like, yo, we're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So the
Liberation or death, mate.
the interesting thing is like the last basically that meeting that was happening that they wanted to go in and like capture people.
Is that when they're doing the airstrike?
Yeah, when they did the airstrike. That meeting,
the lieutenants or
that
whatnot?
meeting, it was about the two sides. 'Cause don't forget, there was the Hamad was divided into two sections.
Yeah.
Aidid and Ali Mahdi, right? So obviously when the Americans came in, they stopped fighting each other, and they were both fighting the Americans. But then obviously they were meeting. That especially that day, that meeting, that where all the
elders.
they
were killing the elders.
They were meeting, and the elders were meeting to come to some sort of organization to sit down with the Americans to got some sort of like because don't forget, because don't forget, the Americans did like 6 raids, but before that, where they killed so many people.
They killed, I mean, the one that there was a famous one where they didn't show it in this, but there was one where there was a building full of children and women, and they
just
sent,
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Because have you seen when they do the count?
Yeah.
But then they did that with the movie as well, where they say, yeah, the soldiers died 84 or something like that.
Okay.
And then they go, Somalis died.
The 300.
They say something like 1,000 something, right? But they don't really say who.
Who they killed.
Were they combat? Were they like soldiers? They're not.
Civilians, yeah.
They just basically just because they shoot from the sky because they don't want to come to the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if they come to the floor, then it's a fair fight.
Same thing what the Zionists are doing, innit? When it comes down here,
That's it.
Yeah, they
you're
want
in
to come to the
about
floor.
that life.
Yeah, they
You're
want-
not those guys.
Nah.
You're not those guys.
Have you not seen when the guy said, you know, the guys in the commentary, one of the soldiers basically, he was saying, as soon as that one of the helicopters land,
Yeah.
it was like they were getting excited. They wanted to go there quickly.
Yeah. I mean that's but the way that they set up the documentary was that, like, obviously talking to the Rangers. So Rangers are this like tough, you know, the military, U.S. military, and the Delta Force are like the guys you don't see. You know, like they believe their own hype in the movies, bro. Yo, this ain't Rambo, bro. They in their own. This ain't the movies.
Bro.
This is real life.
Everyone's gonna catch a bullet.
Yo,
Mate.
this
It works
is
the
real
one way,
life.
one
And
way or
you're
another.
coming into a country where 6 years of civil war tearing it apart,
Yeah.
tearing each other apart. That's what you are coming into. And you think you can take out one of the main contenders in that city just like that. And they get a rude awakening.
Yes.
The rudest awakening they will ever have.
Yeah.
That's what you were telling us before, like, that some of them, you watch the podcast and some of them still don't forget. But because of that, like, the bits that I was like, yes, it's good to hear from the sisters, good to hear from the brothers, especially
Yeah.
Mr. Five.
Yeah,
Ahmed
Ahmed
Five.
Five.
Ahmed
That's
Five,
my
big
guy,
up
man.
Ahmed Five.
He
And big
documented
up
the
to
whole
him.
thing,
Yeah,
man.
man. That's what I'm saying to you. He documented it. And that's what I'm saying. If that footage didn't exist,
Oh.
the world will believe everything they
Anything
say.
that- yeah,
Exactly what I said. It's one person's word against the other then.
yeah. They would have been like, oh,
This is
we
the
didn't do
evidence.
anything.
There's the evidence,
Shout out
man.
to
Yeah.
Ahmed
He
Five,
captured
man.
Yeah,
everything.
big up Ahmed Five, man. Absolute legend. What a legend. So that's the importance of going out and documenting what's happening. And the accurate portrayal and him getting it out to the world there. And actually back in those days, there was a bit of accountability because we do see one of the maybe ex-US military or maybe American, somebody who's in the government getting questioned by a newsreader in the US.
Yes.
Saying what the hell has happened
Yeah,
here.
well, yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, well, they're always like, we would try to get
ID.
ID. That's what we would try to do. And then the lies from the White House where he's giving it, something terribly went wrong. No, you went and that's what you always do. You murder people because you don't think people, you use words. How dehumanizing. Collateral damage.
Oh, yeah.
Collateral is like, you know what, when you're building a house, bits of the things that you built, you know, the materials.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
use, some of it,
excess
you know,
waste or-
that's the type of language that they use to describe.
I hate the one people say that.
People say collateral.
Like
And
it's
have
like
you
a-
noticed they never use it to describe white civilians?
Never.
Have you ever heard any of them, any wars where it happened in Europe or Ukraine, whether it's the Russians or whether the Ukraine, they're ever using collateral?
No.
Oh,
Have you ever said?
No.
No. They tell you about every name, their grandparents,
Yeah.
who they were, where they came from,
And how
show
they
you the
died.
school. They should tell everything.
And
but
how
it's the same
exactly
thing what they're
they
doing to the Palestinians. So this idea is so clear, it's so basic.
do you not remember, like, when the war started between Ukraine and Russia, the U.S. Secretary of State, he was on camera crying,
Yeah.
saying how barbaric Putin
One
is.
of them, actually, it's one of the spokesmen for. It's like,
Yeah.
He actually
joking,
crying.
Yeah. And not even that. Did you not see
I've
it?
seen clips of that.
Did you not see it on the news? Woman was like, they have Instagram just like us. This is Europe.
Yeah.
She's like, and then,
yeah,
the other guy was like, an American guy was like, I mean, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but this is not Afghanistan. This is not the Middle East. This is not Africa. This is Europe.
Yeah, man.
And like, you can't get any more white supremacists than that. Like
That's
the veil,
wild,
the
bro.
veil, and that's what I'm talking about. You know what? Change the difference. There's white people, then there's white supremacy as a system.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about white supremacy as the system of the elites and the media
Bro, people are
operators.
brainwashed. They actually saying that without not realizing what they just said.
Honestly, I'll send it
So
to
just
you.
saying, oh, this is Europe. Like, yeah, there's a war happening in
yeah,
Europe.
so
Yeah,
what?
there's people gonna die. That's what war
Two
does.
of the biggest wars that took out millions of people happened in Europe.
What happened in Iraq? They killed 1 million people, and they just said, oh, we made a mistake.
Collateral damage.
It was a mistake. We
Collateral
had the wrong
damage.
information.
But that's
Millions of people died.
yeah. And then look at the consequence of what that led to.
Exactly. The whole
Syria,
Middle East is going on.
Yeah.
And there was not even like sorry. It was like
No, they're not sorry.
it was a mistake.
Look at the plan Israel has now. The greater.
I think
Israel.
Putin should come out and just say, yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah. That's sorry for the collateral damage.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I got the wrong intel.
But this is it.
Sorry about that.
But this
Wait,
is
who's gonna buy that if he says that? No one. Everyone's gonna think.
no.
Shut
But that's
up,
what I
mate."
said. But even in schools, they were doing projects to raise money for Ukraine. They were asking people to accept Ukrainians
In your
But then
houses.
no one. What happened to the Syrians? What happened to the Afghans? What happened to the Iraqis or the Palestinians? You don't want to accept them.
Libyans.
Like it's so blatantly clear.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
in the way that they are, what they're here to do, and how they feel about us, brown and black people, especially those who are Muslims. That's how they feel. But going back to the documentary, they go and try to do this operation. They murdered so many people, and people literally were like, "Listen, we need to stop." And these people have come to kill our people. Like this, what they don't understand is that people are already hardened. Even if they weren't war hardened, people are like, because our history is fighting colonizers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I think what
I've seen a photo in Mogadishu, 1966, I think 1960 something. Demos, young girls and women, saying "Free Angela Davis."
I'm not familiar with that name.
Who's Angela Davis?
Angela Davis, she was one of the part of the Black Panthers. She was part of
Oh,
civil
yes,
rights
yes,
in
yes,
America.
yes.
Angela, she's a lecturer, intellectual. So the idea of understanding solidarity and understanding Black and African solidarity is always been part of us. So understanding who we are, what we are, our history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What we fought against. You know, the British Empire, the Italian Empire. You know what I mean? We fought against it. The French. We were fighting against all that part of East Africa. So this idea that Americans could go in there with their like 19, 20-year-olds and to go and extract.
Your
and-
kids, innit?
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. That's what breaks my heart. Because you actually feel sorry for when you watch the documentary.
Yeah.
You're like, you're way over your head.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
in too deep here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
You
like
don't know
19,
what's
20-year-olds, all of them.
Yeah, but it was good to hear, you know, to hear from the brother who captured it all, to hear from the actual victims as well of the brutality and people who lost people and dehumanization that was taking place, and how you easily radicalize people. You go into somebody's country, the guy was working with the Americans.
Yeah, he was a
Or
taxi driver,
working for
wasn't he?
Yeah, they grabbed him,
Slapped him around.
slapped him around, beat him and his brother, and he's like, you don't need to motivate. Like, yo, what's this?
That's it. And
That day he was like, yo, I'm joining to get them out of there.
Yeah.
We don't mind fighting each other. We'll settle that score.
Yeah.
But you come
Because
in here.
because you know what that interesting? He was actually a working man.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
not involved in the dispute between Ali Mahdi and Aidid.
No.
Because a lot of people win.
Yeah.
He
Do
was
you know what I'm
working
saying?
for the
They were just
UN.
they
Yeah,
were
he was
just
working for the
people
UN,
just
yeah.
working people. But obviously that dispute happening in the city, most people didn't care. But when these guys did what they did and they come and start killing people, everybody, even the like working man,
Yeah.
who was not interested in like all this dispute that's happening in the city, end up joining a fight. Do you know what I'm saying?
The guy said, I came from the mosque. I went home.
Pick up my gun.
It
And
goes,
This is
it
it.
was loaded.
This is it. This is it.
yo, I'm telling you, it basically they just united everybody. To
What
go-
about the whole like, conversation about they were there to sort out the whole humanitarian aid?
Yes, man.
I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yo,
God.
Yo, that playbook is so tired and it's
dog.
so old.
Nice.
Like Americans
I thought I'd just
genuinely
throw that
cared
in there.
about the education of like the US government and the US empire cared about the education of Afghani women.
Nah.
Like
if you're
like,
buying that,
or they care about the famine. No, they didn't give a damn, mate. It was about who we backing. We need to back one of them, take one of them out, and then back one of them, and then that person is our clientele.
That's it.
That's what it was.
they didn't give a damn about that.
They don't give a damn. And you know what hurts me? You know what's tragic? You know, guess what they used that? So, obviously the Rwanda genocide happened. But because of what happened, the beating, yes, George Bush, yes, Bill Clinton, yes, Donald Trump, yes, all of the rest of you came before you. Bush Sr., Reagan, Nixon, your boys took a hell of a beating. Remember that. In Mogadishu, your boys took a hell of a beating. And then you were like, oh, we can't go and help the Rwanda. Do you think they give a damn about Rwandans? But guess what the excuse they use? They go, because of how many men we lost, because of that interfering in that country, we're not getting involved.
Because the French was already involved.
Yeah, and that idea to go, we didn't want to stop the genocide in Rwanda because we got burnt. We got burnt by what happened to us in Somalia, what the Somalis did to us. So do you see the idea? They didn't give a damn. Their thing was, these two guys are fighting each other. They picked up. We need to take the other one out.
Yeah.
So then that person becomes our clientele in the region.
That's it.
Because of the coast, because of that coastal idea where we are geographically. That's a really important part for trade.
Even the little the Suez Canal just
So that's the reason why. That's the reason why they went there, and they didn't give a damn about people dying about famine. They didn't give a damn. They did not give a damn. So it's the old playbook. We're there, humanitarian. Listen, you don't even give a damn about the people in the US citizens.
Yes. Bro, have you not seen the what Donald Trump unveiled now about the US aid department where they fund all the
CIA.
Bro, there was a Senate hearing a couple of days ago. I'll send you the video.
Okay.
The Senate hearings a couple of days ago, and then basically said they found all the the aid that they're giving out. They're giving £11 million a week to the Taliban.
Yeah.
And he goes, is this correct? And they were like, yeah. I was like, and then who else did we give money to? He goes, oh, we assisted Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Assisted.
Yeah, of course.
It's in the video. I just sent it to you. This is Senate hearing.
I'll watch it after this, yeah.
Are you just thinking, I was thinking, did he actually just say that?
Yeah, listen. But that's what I'm saying to this. Listen. So
Mad.
I knew Al-Shabaab was a CIA thing, yeah? Because how do you keep troops in that place? Listen, how do you... This is what I'm saying. It's called disaster capitalism. So it's a bit of economics as well. Disaster capitalism. So you create a problem, then you come up with a solution.
Yep.
So then the money flows. Because then you have to have an army, you're going to justify all of the army bases. If people are just getting on.
Yeah.
That's the biggest...
And that's why the whole war on terror is the biggest scam ever. So the CIA trains people to go and rob. So when it's a problem, then they can justify the army bases. They can justify the funding. You can justify
everything.
Your stronghold in that part of the world for dominance. Because you have to have that. You have to have an evil enemy for you to justify you being there. Yeah. Or you have to justify. That's how they think neocons. It's called neoconservatives. Okay. It's their idea. I mean, even before 9/11, like we don't want to get into it, but they literally wrote in the 90s. They were like American for Century. That's what it's called, the paper. And they were like, America would have to get unsuspected attack. They literally wrote. This is written like 98, 99. This paper was written before even 9/11. And they literally say on it, we have to have the only way we can go on foreign adventures is to go and we have to have an unsuspected attack. We have to have an unsuspected attack for us to justify going.
And like you said earlier on, if you want to see where the attack's going to come from, watch the movies. Do you know there was 2 movies about 9/11 before 9/11?
Which ones?
Yeah.
There was movies.
Planes being hijacked
and hitting the towers. There was already movies about before that happened. It's like crazy. 5-10 years before that.
Yeah.
Wild.
So they tell you what they're gonna do on the movies.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that's why I watch movies. I know.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Some of these movies.
I'll give you the movie if you want.
Yeah. I know what's coming.
The movie, the plane actually in the movie actually is hijacked. Actually hit the World Trade Centers. This is a movie, and it happened way before the 9/11.
Interesting. Just to kind of summarize, obviously it was a 3-part series.
Yeah.
Obviously we've kind of dived into like different parts and different areas and other topics and whatnot. What was your overall thought, mainly hearing from like the Somali side?
Yeah, it was beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see, like not us two, and us tell the people who were there, who experienced it, who've lost people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The woman who lost her children, you know what I mean? She lost her husband.
Binti.
Yeah, like, you know, the other sister that survived, you know, thought her whole family died. The children, the schools. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was a marketplace. They attacked the marketplace.
It's
and the place
Bakara.
full of,
the Bakara market.
Yeah,
it's
and
massive.
the schools, it's full of, like, it's downtown. Like, in that part. So the idea of them just doing what they did. I mean, if you want to watch the documentary, they got absolutely taken apart. They didn't know because people were ready to die. People, they're ready to die.
There's two things like that in that show, in the movie. First, that lady you're talking about, Binti, that lost
husband, the children,
four sons, and her daughter became blind.
Husband,
and her husband died. And then there's also the woman and the man that had the daughter. She just born at that time.
Who kept hostage. She's just
Human shield.
Yeah,
I thought that was not, you know how to do that.
That's what the Israelis do. That's what the Zionists do. Human shield.
Bro, they actually survived because they had that man. Because the whole neighborhood knew that
There's family in there.
The family was still in the house.
And they could hear the baby crying.
Yeah, and so they stopped shooting at them.
Yeah.
They stayed in the house for overnight.
Yeah.
Survived in that house because they knew there's a newborn in there, and
and people know.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah, they stopped shooting because one of the soldiers actually said it.
Yeah. No, he clearly said it.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
We could be here all day. I mean, we're like almost an hour in. We could do another 3-4 hours. But just to kind of segue into another life of Nuradin.
No. Listen, I want to say a little bit.
Yeah, go on. Feel free.
So the bit I was waiting for it. So I'm watching a 3-part. So it's 3-part documentary. I'm waiting. Actually, they're telling the American soldiers are telling their versions. The Somalis are telling with the footage that they've got.
Yeah.
More evidence of what's going on and what happened, right? And I think maybe aspect of the footage. I don't know if they recreated again or they used to film. They recreated
a lot of recreations.
Yeah. So they use actors to recreate what actually happened, right? Yeah. And it's crazy, but I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, where's the dehumanization? When are they going to go on? And then boom. It comes with one of the soldiers, his wife, and it basically towards the end. And then she's like, look at these people. So listen to this. You've murdered so many people. You've killed children. You've killed women. You're bombing from the sky. You are taking the whole neighborhoods and bloodlines
and market,
out, right, in a market. You're killing people. Do you think we're going to just kill you and then people are angry.
Yeah.
So what happened is that some of them got dragged around the city because to show them, this is what we're going to do if you plan to stay here.
Yeah.
Right? But that is where they dehumanize us. And then she's got, I mean,
I wasn't even going to give her airtime, to be fair.
No. We have to, what people would do that. And I'm like, there we go. I was waiting for it. So on all the 3 hours.
It had to be.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Yeah, you know what? When you go and kill people, you've got the cheek to say how they're going to react.
Yeah.
To you murdering them and how they have to treat you. They kill you civilized. And that's where we go back to the barbarism. This is what we're barbaric. We're savage. And the whole thing about cinema, when it comes to black and brown people, globally, because we're the global majority in the world, that in cinema is always the savage.
Yeah.
They always have the savage, that savage gaze.
Yeah.
That we're always savages. That's why when you see things like Top Man, I don't want to watch that because, Top Man was what North Side was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then some man's writing that, but he's always going to exaggerate the violence, and the younger we are, he's always going to, because of the savage ideal of it. When I see films about black and brown people in difficult situations globally, I know within the first 10 minutes is a black person made it or a white person made it. 100%. And I know so far, I have not been wrong, I promise you. I've sat there, gone into previews without knowing anything, because at home I was going to previews without knowing anything. And in the first 10 minutes, I'm like, I know a black person made this. Especially after the black
really
film.
Interesting, yeah.
Because I'm so drained by the idea of the savage is always that we're always more violent, we're all more barbaric, and that is white supremacy. They're not even conscious of it. It's white supremacy just because that's their education. That's their thing, that we're always savages, we're always animal. That's what we are. That's what they truly think.
Yeah.
So for me, that bit there, I was waiting, and boom, it came. It came with that punch, and I was like, oh, okay. You're using the grieving woman, wife to try, because I was like, is these soldiers are they gonna say it? You know what I mean? They were like, I can't say that too much. One of them wanted to say it because one of them talks about a scene. They took an elder. I mean, it's an elder. Like they took him back, and it's like, I should have shot him. I should have killed him.
I wanted to kill him. Yeah.
Basically, like just being judge, jury, and executioner. Like, and I'm sure they did some of them. I'm sure they killed some of them. Yeah, because their friends got killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One guy actually.
He admitted it. He said, I shot
Yeah,
everybody.
he actually said it on camera. I said it to you.
Yeah.
That he
Because
committed
I
a war
didn't
crime.
let go of. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually committed a war crime
Yeah.
and actually admitted it
Admitted
on
on
film.
camera.
Yeah.
He said it in film. That basically
Should
after
be
his friend died.
investigated.
So that's what I'm saying. Things like that. Are they like signing papers prior to the show for them not to be?
Yeah, but he could be.
Nobody's going to investigate.
No, but he couldn't. But that's admission that he could actually get indicted for that.
Yeah.
He could get arrested for that. He basically said, "My friend died." After that, he goes, "I never moved."
I didn't let
Now, don't
go of
forget,
the-
he's in the vehicle, moving around Mogadishu.
shooting.
So he said, "I was
just
shooting
spraying.
anything on sight."
Even the women that were pointing him out.
Yeah, anything on sight. He didn't even care. But he said anything on sight.
That he said, I didn't shoot the woman, he said. And I'm like, nah,
Yeah, lying
but yeah.
bastard. He's fucking lying.
Remember that when the chopper went low and then it killed that lady
woman
on the head.
Binti was describing
Binti
that.
was giving
Yeah,
that
when she was
story.
going home. But you know
Because
what?
it was so descriptive. I was thinking, did one of the soldiers just be like, "Yo, like target practice"?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna probably get that word.
Listen, if their friends were dying, that's what I'm saying to you, the atrocity that was committed.
Yeah.
They just shot everybody.
Yeah. And
Because their friends, the 2 helicopters came down, they were getting massacred right, left, and center. And you know what they were like? Oh, we need to go and we don't leave. You know, like the movies.
Yeah.
We leave no man behind.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's the movies, man. Stop watching those movies thinking that's what you're gonna go into somebody's backyard, somebody's country, somebody's neighborhood, and you're gonna think you're gonna come out alive. You're gonna just murder them and you're gonna come out alive.
It's not only that,
doesn't
bro.
work
You're
like that.
you're talking about kids
Yeah.
with so much equipment, and their friends are dying
Around
there
them,
and
yeah.
there
Their
and
family,
there.
yeah.
How do you think they're gonna behave? They're just kids.
They are, 19, 20,
Yeah,
21.
Not even that, there was 15-year-olds. One guy is there with a chewing gum.
And then they said, oh-
in the car. There's a clip of him. He's there with the AK like that. He must be at least
they look like
13, 12
children.
years
Oh,
old.
the Somali kid.
So Somali
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
yeah.
They were much younger.
Do you know, like, going
quite
back
a
to the
few of them.
dehumanizing bit, like they basically, obviously, like, you see that widow that basically was talking about her husband and she was upset, but then in the same clip later on, they interviewing Binti, said she got shot from the helicopter.
Yeah.
Her sons were like lifeless. She tried to pick them up.
Yeah.
4 of them,
Yeah.
and her husband died on the spot. He was reading the Quran.
Yeah, and got shot. Yeah.
She said, "Let's close the kitab and let's move. Let's get out of here." He said, "God is everywhere. I'm not going anywhere." He died on that spot. Her daughter was blind.
Yeah.
That's 4 children and a husband, and her daughter is blind.
Yeah.
And there was not even like sad music played on
No,
that
it
bit.
wasn't. No, it
No,
wasn't.
you know, like when they play that little sad music.
yeah,
I analyze things like camera angles and things like that.
Yeah,
as
you know
well.
when they give that, and then you go, "Oh, like
Because
you
she's
go."
not human because
and,
she's black.
And then you go,
She's
like, you know, like.
African.
But then when that woman was talking about her husband, she lost her husband. The whole music come on. They're like playing that little.
The scene is totally different. The
It's
wide
completely
shots,
different.
the
The
zooming in,
trees.
Yeah.
the zooming in,
She lost a soldier,
zooming in.
and he was a soldier.
That tight
her
shot
son,
Yeah.
her son.
coming in,
Yeah.
walking by.
He wanted to follow his father.
Is
And
he
yeah.
gonna join? Is
Military
he not?
families. Like this is what.
And
the
when
whole
Bint is
thing
talking
was.
about 4 dead children and a husband,
husband, yeah.
and a blind daughter,
Yeah.
and her, she's injured.
Yeah.
There was nothing. It was like, move to the next scene quickly.
yeah.
Let's just.
But that's what I'm saying. The level of
Yeah,
dehumanizing.
yeah.
But to me, big up to our brother though, because he at least got some in there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did.
Because I'm like, he's not in charge of their.
No, he's not, he's not.
He's not, and that went past every. Because I think it's Ridley Scott Productions as well. I think
Okay.
he's got something to do with it.
Okay.
And he already told the lies about it. So it's like, so your film was total lie because you made it like we're the heroes. We don't leave anybody behind, boys. You left everybody behind. You left a lot of people behind.
Yeah.
And people got what they deserve, man. Like for me, the idea you can come and kill people, I think you're gonna be in pieces walking back, having a cigar back in Las Vegas or Nevada or somewhere in Texas. Nah, man.
That someone would say, "What are we gonna have for dinner?" Like after all that was going on, he like
It was like
for dinner.
one of them is like, I was like, this is gonna be just, we've got the Hawks.
Yeah, the Hawk. Yeah.
We've got the Hawks. This is the US. This is America.
That's what he said.
This is America.
When he started with that, I was like, "Oh,
Yo, people are like, this is Somalia.
welcome."
This is Somalia. Welcome. And like I said, I'm not, but I'm just saying to you, that time they got their kick there in, and this wasn't even a regular army. This was just people that were angered by what was
like
going
the taxi
on.
driver, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's what I'm. But that's what I'm saying. When you go to try to fight guerrilla warfare
Guerrilla
in
warfare, okay.
somebody's home, when they know every alley, they know every street.
And they're not scared, bro.
Yeah, you can have all the maps, you can have all the things.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying to you. And the thing about it is that we're not afraid to die. Like, they kept saying, kept shooting, they kept dropping, more come. Yeah, because we're like, yo.
Have you seen when they said that when they were hiding in the house and he goes, two of them just walked by smoking a cigarette. He goes, and they know where we are. And they just walk by.
Exactly.
I just thinking, what the hell? Because they all got confused. They didn't even shoot at them. They all got confused, like thinking, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just basically came out of the way where they're hiding and just walked by. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Do you
wow.
think there's going to be maybe, obviously, because right at the end of that, they did say this is only some of the stories of the survivors on both ends. Do you think there's going to be like a season 2 or where they?
I would like it to be a Somali production.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you
That's
said.
what I said. I said I wouldn't watch it again unless it's
Completely,
completely from the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's so long, even the whole story, the foundation of story is bullshit.
Yeah.
So we would just watch if you like first-hand victims, like, you know, Binti, the other girl that was born as hostage.
Yes.
No, that's welcome to the earth, and she's a hostage already.
Yeah.
Like all those Ahmed 5.
Yeah.
Apart from their stories, the whole thing is a propaganda.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Ahmed 5, you can make a documentary. It's
Just
on
on
Ahmed
him,
5.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Did I not say that to you?
Ahmed 5.
I said it would be just him. We could do that guy could do a Netflix series on him alone.
Just showing what
And
happened.
do you know what the funny thing is? They never asked any of them, why did they think the Americans were there?
They don't. Of course they do.
No one
But
asked
to
that
be fair, but that's what they told the people as well. Because in the beginning they go, the people were giving, you know, American flags to children. We see the scene where the children have some sort of flags that
Yeah.
Ahmed filmed.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
because
then
you know
it's
what he
like,
said?
yeah, because they're like, because we're sick of the fighting. People were like 6 years into
They thought
this
they come as
war.
peacemakers.
They come as peacemakers. They're just gonna go and deliver food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what
That's
when
what they
people
needed.
say that to you, you're gonna think, why would you lie to me?
Yeah, but that's what they needed at that time.
Yeah.
Because the city is divided into 2 areas.
Exactly.
They
That's
thought
what they did, yeah.
they thought the Americans are gonna sit in the middle and say,
That's
right,
it.
okay,
Everybody's
bring these two
getting food.
together.
This is it.
Yeah. Some sort of peacemaking. But that's not what
No,
they
they
were for.
didn't. They came to kill people.
Right. On that note,
That's it.
we're gonna wrap this one.
We'll
up
have to
here.
come back next time
We
for the
will
football.
definitely get Nuradin back, or we'll be on your platform,
Yeah.
vice versa. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, share your opinions down below.
Subscribe, people. Subscribe to the channel.
I'm also gonna plug in Nuradin's channel. Make sure you guys go and show him
United
some
Real
love.
Therapy. Therapy Army. If you're United fan, gonna tell you straight. It's the therapy channel. Because therapy, what happens when you go therapy? You tell the truth.
That's it.
Yeah.
But big up to these brothers doing what they're doing, having serious conversations,
Yeah.
and it needs to happen in our community. Trust me, it needs to happen in our community. And I've watched some of the videos, and yeah, I really like the conversations, and I respect and love what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Because I've known both of you.
Yeah,
Like,
quite a bit,
you know,
yeah.
you with the photography, you always been interested in the arts and culture
Yes.
and everything else, and you always about the football and everything else, man. That's just the honest, good people, man.
Yeah.
Good people. But it's love.
Thanks, Nuradin. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
man.
Thank you.
Watch your documentary. Watch it. Watch it. Get in the comments. We want to know what you think, what you thought about it. Pause it. Go and watch it. You know, the spoilers are there, but go and watch it yourself and let us know what you think.